This show is part of the RetroZap.com podcast network.
And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 21 of the Animanicast.
Aha!
You're entering another dimension.
A dimension of sight and of sound.
That signpost up ahead. Gettysburg.
I don't think so.
And how about this opening?
I'm lanky.
And frankly,
This war has got me cranky.
I'm proud to be a Yankee. How you doing, Gettysburg?
And welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Animanicast. We are a podcast that is dedicated to the animated television series, The Animaniacs. Each and every episode, we talk about another episode in the order in which it was released, and we discuss all the gags, all the jokes, all the references, and some of our memories of watching the show when we first saw it, and what we think about it right now. I am Joey, and joining me once again, as always, is my brother Nathan.
God bless America.
And all the way in the lovely state of Georgia is Kelly.
Hello.
We learned all about America today in this particular episode. And this one is called The Flame. It has a bunch of different segments, so I'm going to run through them real quick. The Flame, Wackos America, Davy Omelette, and 77 migraines ago. And Nathan, when was this episode premiered?
Joey, this episode first premiered in the month of October.
Uh-huh.
It was 1993.
Okay.
And it was the 12th of October.
Okay. So I'm starting to get a connection here of why the heck that they decided possibly to make this an episode that dealt with America. Do you guys have any idea what I'm thinking?
Some holiday of some sort?
I'm pretty sure Columbus reached the New World on October 12th, 1492. I was going to say 1942.
1992.
No, in 1492. So this episode, again, 1992? Yeah, so we're dealing with 501 years after Columbus discovered.
Wow.
So there you go. Interesting, huh? Maybe. That's the only connection I could think of why they would have talked about America so much in this one. Maybe that's the reason. Well, what do you guys think about this episode today? Just in a few words. Nathan, what do you think?
I love America now.
Now, this episode made you patriotic.
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
Super patriotic.
Very cool. And Kelly, what about you?
I listened to the Wackos America song when I study for Jeopardy.
Ah, that is very good. It helped me, I know, quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Which is funny because they're kind of playing Jeopardy when he does it. So.
That's true. It's kind of a variant on it, doesn't it? Well, anyway, we'll get to that in just a little bit. But before we get started on this particular episode, we have to talk about one thing that is kind of weird. The episode has different orders over the years, and no one really knows exactly why. I have reached out to Tom Ruger on Twitter just to see why that order was kind of changed, flipped around.
Mm-hmm.
And also, depending on which Wikipedia that you go to, it will tell you different things as well. Some people say that the Flame was last and 77 migraines ago was first, and vice versa. And basically, you'll find different orders for this. We're going to go off of the order that it is right now on Netflix. But
that's even out of episode order. So
exactly.
It's like,
they were really confusing us this time. But we're going to talk about it in the order in which it's on Netflix right now, just for the record. But let's go ahead and get right over to our first Netflix segment, which is The Flame. Now, The Flame was a story by Tom Ruger. It was written by Nicholas Hollander and Tom Ruger, and it was directed by Barry Caldwell. Nathan, what could you basically tell us? What goes on in The Flame?
Well, this is the first Flame cartoon.
Yes.
This is basically Thomas Jefferson has lit a candle, and he ends up writing the Declaration of Independence while the Flame watches him and makes some funny, cute little comments. And at the end, John Hancock signs it, and it is official. And everyone wants to celebrate because it's 4th of July.
There you go. Yeah, and he stayed up all night, to write that with the Flame right there. The Flame, first of all, a super cute little guy.
It's a cutie.
Kelly, do you have any thoughts about the Flame in general, or this cartoon?
He sounds an awful lot like Skippy the Squirrel.
He does, and
What's that about?
The reason for that is it's actually his brother, Luke Ruger, plays the Flame. And, of course, the Skippy was played by Nathan Ruger. Thank you. Yes. So, yeah, I actually thought, is that Nathan Ruger again? Because he doesn't quite sound the same. But no, they're brothers. I will say this about Tom Ruger. He knew how to get his kids into show business. Just throw them in there, and they sound... natural actors. These kids were great. Fantastic. So it kind of reminded me a little bit of Chip, a little bit from Beauty and the Beast, a little.
I got that too.
Yeah, just because he's little and he's just the way he talks, and I just really he kind of got that little thing that he didn't even realize that he was a flame.
Is it hot in here? I definitely feel warm. Oh my gosh, there's a fire! 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 Ah! I'm on fire! Put it out! Put it out! Put it out! Wait a minute. I am a fire. Imagine my embarrassment.
It kind of reminded me a little bit of I can't really put my finger on it specifically which cartoons, but it had a very merry melody-ish kind of feel to it, or Silly Symphony kind of feel to it in some ways.
A little bit of Fantasia.
Yes.
When the flames were dancing, and it sounded a little like Tchaikovsky, but so it took me to Fantasia.
Yeah, when they're doing that little dance, his evil cousins or his naughty cousins or whatever he calls them.
Whoa! Mayday! Mayday! We're going down! Huh? Uh-oh. Hey, you guys, are you crazy? Knock it off!
Yeah, a cute cartoon right there. Nothing necessarily hilarious about this. In fact, when it ends, it just kind of ends with little fireworks, and they listened to my idea of making it the 4th of July.
I thought the ending was funny, that all the people were just waiting in the room for Thomas Jefferson to finish writing, all night. They're just sitting silently in the corner.
And they signed it without even reading it.
Yeah, they're like, oh, finally, whatever, John Hancock. Okay. I thought that was funny.
Yeah, usually in musicals like 1776 or in the miniseries John Adams, they make it a big deal about signing this document. And in this particular case, it's good, sign it, God,
okay,
let's
good.
go. Let's do this. Whatever. We could be hanged for this? Okay, whatever.
John Hancock, yeah. Just...
So yes, it worked for the cartoon. That I would be curious to find out whether or not Thomas Jefferson actually wrote the Declaration of Independence in that building. I always assumed that he kind of wrote it at home and then took it over there. But I didn't have time to look that up, so I don't know. But I think we can assume that it probably wasn't written all in one night.
Yeah, he didn't write it alone, and it wasn't even in July.
First draft done.
But he was in the group that originally wrote it. Wrote it. That's correct. But they created the Declaration on June 11th.
Right.
So
that is true. And it actually, from what I understood, actually took many days for them to all sign it.
Many revisions too. And
Back then it's like that they weren't necessarily all in the room at that time. It's the forefathers, whatever you want to call them, would I'd come in, I'm in town for that day, so I'm going to sign the Declaration of Independence, and then I'm going to go back to my city, wherever that happens to be. So it wasn't as dramatic as we see in paintings and stuff like that. So
yeah, and of course John Hancock was the first to sign it, not the second to.
Well, Thomas Jefferson did. No,
he was. Yeah, it was John Hancock. Then that's why John Hancock's so big, because he just takes up the whole paper, and everyone's like, "Okay,
thanks for stealing all the space, John."
Yeah, it's always that first person that signs it. It's just like,
it's kind of like that birthday card, when you want to sign a birthday
pass
card.
It around and.
Dear Jimmy, you're the best person in the world, and I just want to say that time that we went, and I'm like,
okay, I'll take this little corner.
Happy B-Day, Jimmy. I particularly I'll tell you one part I really liked. It was just the general talking between the Flame and Thomas Jefferson.
Up there, are you crazy? It's dark up there. Count me out. I'm scared of the dark. If you're going up there, go alone. Hey, what are you doing? I told you I don't want to go. Turn around, will ya? Go back down. I don't want the darkness to get me. I'm scared of the dark. I'm scared. Huh? Hey, who turned on the lights? Oh, that's right. I did. But where did the darkness go? Oh, ran down the stairs, huh? I see you hiding down there. I guess I showed you who's boss. No stupid old darkness is gonna scare me. Yeah, you're nothing but a big chicken.
So, cute stuff from the Flame in general. Well, if we don't have anything else to say about this one, I think let's move straight on to our next one, because the next song in particular, I know that we'll all have a little bit of reflections and stuff that we like about this one.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go straight on to the next one. Which is Wackos America. Okay, well, Wackos America is a song that I believe it was the Turkey in the Straw, although it says music traditional on my notes right here. But I think it's Turkey in the Straw. It's the song that they play in Steamboat Willie, I believe. But anyway, it's the lyrics are by Randy Rogel. It was written by Randy Rogel and Tom Ruger, and it was directed by Rusty Mills and Ron Fleischer. And we all know this. This is basically the Warners are there with Miss Flamel. She decides to give them a pop quiz with a Jeopardy contest, sort of. Mm-hmm. She gives them a bunch of different categories. Wakko gets the first one right.
Yeah.
She has made even more TV movies than Lindsay Wagner. Wakko?
Who is Valerie Bertinelli?
That is correct. Select again.
Lindsay Wagner is I believe the $6 Million Woman, I believe, and I don't know what else she was in.
I think I thought they called her the Bionic
Woman. It was a $6 Million Man.
Yeah.
You can tell I never watched the show.
Yeah, it was a spin-off of it. So
it was a little before my time. She was at Phoenix Comic-Con. Some people were getting in line to go get their autographs. And Valerie Bertinelli was in I don't really know what she's from, other than I would see her on TV quite often as a kid. And now
she was on a sitcom, and I'm blanking on it. I remember when she was a teenager, because it was already in reruns when I was a kid, and I'm completely blanking on it.
Well, I'll look over.
I think she was wasn't she also married to like Bon Jovi or something?
Or the guy, one of the guys. No, I'm thinking of somebody else. Valerie Bertinelli.
Oh, Van Halen. She was married to Van Halen.
Okay. Well, Valerie Bertinelli, she was in, let's see here. One Day at a Time.
Somebody's looking on Google.
Yep.
Me and you.
Yep, exactly. But what I know her now, Eddie Van Halen, that's who she was married to for a long time. And, but what I know her from, I think it's like she's in some Weight Watchers or Jenny Craig commercials now. Every now and then she'll do her thing on there. So Valerie Bertinelli, there's your obscure sort of reference for today. Well, let's get right into the Wackos America song though, because that's the really cool part. Wackos America. What do you guys think, Kelly? Now, you know Yakko's World. You know the words to Yakko's World.
Yeah.
Do you know all the words to Wackos America?
Most of them.
Most of them?
It's not one I made a really true effort to memorize, but I have listened to it a lot. Like I said, when I'm studying for Jeopardy and just want to refresh my knowledge of the capitals, and I like and also where the states are, because some of the New England states are, I get them all mixed up, but so it's helpful. And just like the President's song, I love that one too. So I listen to all those to kind of just jog my memory sometimes.
Yeah, I will say that this song helped me out quite a bit in high school when you take your geography questions and stuff, and they show you the map, and there you basically have to put down the state capital in each one of the map. And I remember this being very helpful. Nathan, what are your thoughts about this song?
Yeah, I remember middle school, I think 8th grade, we had, throughout the year, it's like, you have to know at least 80 states and capitals, basically. Like, you have to know...
80 states?
Well, you have to know, between states and capitals, you have to get at least 80 right.
Okay.
So you don't even need to necessarily know, like, if you knew the capital, you didn't have to know the state.
Okay.
Kind of thing, so it was a weird test.
That is a weird test.
But it made this song, I was just like...
Get...
Awesome.
So
like, if you got a state and a capital, it's 2 points. You know,
gotcha. So out of 100, it would be 100 points for all of them. So you were supposed to get at least 80% of it.
Yeah, or you would fail or something. So
gotcha.
It was weird.
Gotcha.
But this song really helped for that. So.
Yeah, well, I remember that this song, I don't think this song was originally on the soundtrack, the first soundtrack. I don't think, let me just check real quick.
It was on the one I had that was a cassette.
Yeah, because I remember, this is what I remember from this song. One of my memories from this song is, I was in drama in high school, and we had, every year we go to the Arizona Thespian Conference, and it was just an excuse to get a bunch of teenagers in high school together just to act silly for a few days. And I think at one point they had like a dance or something. Like it was, people played different music from the late 90s. Well, I had my Animaniacs CD for some reason with me. I don't know why. I probably had my Discman with me, I'm guessing. And, back in the days before MP3 players, that's why I had CDs with me, is because that's if I wanted to listen to it, I had my CD collection with me at all times. Yeah, now I'm remembering this. Well, anyway, at the dance, they were like pulling people up to just like put in their own CDs to play music for the dance. So I went up there and I put in Wackos America, and people, I remember, started singing along. People actually, they liked it. Again, I don't think this would work in any other audience. I don't think any other audience than a bunch of drama nerds would really get into Wackos America in the 90s. But the one part where he gives kind of a shout out to Phoenix, Arizona, because he kind of does that little pause, Phoenix, Arizona, and people went, woo! Because we were in Phoenix,
yeah.
So it's a cute song. The only thing, if I were to criticize one small thing about this, would be just the location is kind of hard to find. Kelly, you were mentioning some of the New England states are kind of get all jumbled up, and I think for some of that, Wakko is actually pointing at the states. It doesn't necessarily show where their location is on the map. It just shows the state kind of by itself. And, and he's just kind of pointing at it with a ruler. That would be the only kind of thing I would, if I had to change or suggest for a change, if I was in the the writer's room or whatever, I would figure out a way for him to actually get to that state on the map somehow. Although he would have to make some huge jumps, perhaps.
Yeah.
Around the map. So maybe that just did not work. Well, whatever. That would have been my only little thing. It's like, if I'm nitpicking. But otherwise, a very good thing. And like I said, it helps me out. It helped me out quite a bit. It continues to help me out whenever I go, what's the capital of that state? Because it always happens every now and then when you least expect it, that you need to know the capital of a state. And I just find myself kind of humming this song to myself.
Well, now there's Google too, so.
No, use Google. You can ask Siri.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying you can Google the song and play it.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, good episode. Not quite as good as Yakko's World. I think most people will agree to that.
Yakko's World won in our poll.
But still a cool song, and it's very helpful. I know it helped out to even kids at my school, and I turned them on to the Animaniacs songs, and boy, oh boy, did those kids really love getting a song that could help them with the states. So continues to work today, which is awesome. All right, well, let's move on to our next segment, which is Davy Omelette. Davy Omelette was written by Deanna Oliver, directed by Rusty Mills, and basically the synopsis is that Chicken Boo is posing as this character named Davy Omelette, and he protects a little group of pioneers from a bear or a bar, and after they start dancing to celebrate the fact that he scared the bear away. The bar. Chicken Boo's clothes fall off, and then they go, and they all laugh. He says, "Someone laughed like a chicken," and they turn and they go, "Oh, he is a chicken," and they chase him off. Yeah. And no, the bear chases him off.
Yeah, they call the bear back, like, come
on back, bear. So, very kind of a cute segment right there. Poor Chicken Boo again. He can't catch a break.
Yeah, I mean, he was doing good work as a frontiersman.
He was helping out.
Ooh, did you see that? Davy Omelette grinned down a bar. Yeah!
He could scare off a bear just by grinning at it. Which shows you the power of Chicken Boo. Let's see, Kelly, Nathan, what do you think about the just Chicken Boo segment?
Just like all the Chicken Boo segments, it's enjoyable, and I end up feeling sorry for Chicken Boo, I guess, but I still laugh, and yeah, just a lot of fun.
Kelly, what about you?
I thought it was cute. I liked it when all the townspeople or I don't know, whatever they were, that they kept saying, I hear tell that he did this and he did that, and I just thought it was just cute.
Davy Omelette? Why, I heard tell he wrestled a 6-ton bull moose to his knees and hung his long johns out to dry on its antlers.
Davy Omelette? Well, I heard tell he roped a rabid coyote with a bolt of lightning, tamed him, and told him to eat grass.
Yeah, it reminded me a little bit of did you ever watch any of the Disney tall tale things like Paul Bunyan and Pecos Bill and stuff as a kid? It definitely reminded me a little bit of those kinds of things, because I don't think there was much of a tall tale kind of thing going on with Davy Crockett, although this is referencing the TV show of Davy Crockett, which was produced by Disney. You know, Nathan, you know the Davy Crockett song, right? Davy Crockett, man of the wild frontier, something like that. King of the wild frontier.
Yeah, there it is. I know the song, but I didn't ever watch the show.
Yeah, well, the original show had Fess Parker as Davy Crockett. Buddy Epson was his kind of buddy on the show. They were definitely referencing it not only with the song, but then of course, Chicken Boo was like next to Davy Omelette, and then it said "in color" on the bottom.
Yeah, I like that. That was a nice little addition.
And I always like how they called him Davy Omelette, mighty large frontiersman. He's a mighty large Because he really did. He was a very big chicken.
Yeah.
Over them.
He's a giant chicken.
He really is. And I guess even though I never really got into Hysteria, I guess the old woman right there, the old woman pioneer, she's actually, in the show Hysteria. So I gotta check out Hysteria. I know it's on DVD and, I gotta check that out. Not only because it's continuation of Tom Ruger's work, but, it's dealing about history. And, even though the Animaniacs aren't in it, there's some of the minor characters make appearances in it. So I'll have to check it out one of these days. So there we go.
Yeah.
And of course it has another thing of, Rob Paulson is doing another Pat Buttram voice, which I don't know, he's a giant chicken.
Oh yeah.
So that little voice is back once again.
Davy Omelette, I hear tell he's a chicken.
Them's lies you're telling, boy.
You better stop spreading tall tales, mister.
Go back east. He's a chicken, I tell you, a giant chicken.
But overall, it's a very good Chicken Boo segment. Frank Welker did quite a few different things. He did Chicken Boo, and then he did also Chicken Boo's companion, which I think... Again, I don't know the name of the character. He played the dad on Beverly Hillbillies and stuff. So
yeah,
I think
it might be Buddy Ebsen.
Yeah, Buddy Ebsen's character. I don't know what.
Yeah, George Russell, I guess.
Oh, there you go.
Oh.
It might have been him. I've seen some pictures where it kind of looks like he doesn't have necessarily a beard, but he has kind of a stubble on his face and stuff. But Frank Welker did quite a few in this one. He did Chicken Boo, Chicken Boo's companion, and the bear, and the narrator.
Wow.
All in this one. So, actually the narrator in the next one. So let's go ahead and talk about the next one right now, which is 407 migraines ago. 407 migraines ago was a story that was written by Tom Ruger and Paul Rugg. It was written by Gordon Bresick, Charles M. Howell IV, and Paul Rugg, and it was directed by Alfred Jimeno. And Kelly, what could you basically tell us that happens in this cartoon?
The Animaniacs meet Abraham Lincoln, and he's on a train heading to Gettysburg. It's 1863. The Civil War's been going on for about 2 years, and he's working on his address. And so they say, well, we all know what your address is. It's 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. And which I thought was a cute little joke. And they actually ask him to sign their autograph book next to Attila the Hun for contrast.
Yes.
And it's just really funny and cute. And but the whole episode is makes references to a lot of opening lines and famous speeches and also lines in Shakespeare plays, sort of taking a spin on some of the words, because I think what they said friends. Anyway, it was a reference to Julius Caesar. I can't remember exactly what they said, but they paraphrased it. And so it's just chock full of pop culture, literary references, history, and it's cute. I thought it was really funny.
Yeah. I think what was the other ones? They had references to the Twilight Zone, like as an intro that he could use, which didn't work.
Yeah.
And of course, what I liked was when Yakko started acting like Jimmy Stewart from Mr. Smith Goes to Washington and say, "Well, yeah, you gotta do it, because 407 years ago."
We're counting on you, Abe. This speech is important. You have to heal this country and bring it together, because you might want to take notes on this. I'm on a roll. Because 407 years ago. That's 87 years ago, for those of you keeping score. Our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all people should have a balanced diet, including ding-dongs and ho-hos and...
Ho-hos?
Yeah, feel free to change any of this.
I saw Mr. Smith Goes to Washington one time in high school, and remembering liking it. I have not seen it since, so I saw it 20 years ago. I'm a It's a Wonderful Life guy when it comes to Jimmy Stewart.
Jimmy Stewart.
I have to watch that movie at least once a year. So that was a cute little part right there. What do you guys think? What are some moments right there that kind of stood out of this cartoon that you really liked? Any jokes, stuff like that?
Like they sing 2 songs basically, Lincoln Lincoln and I've Been Working on the Railroad.
And the Tiny Toons theme.
And the Tiny Toons theme. So it's like, it's chock full of content, I feel like. And it's little educational, like 407 years, it's 87 years.
Well, yeah, that's 87 years ago. Yeah. It also started off with a kind of dramatic montage of stuff with the narrator, Frank Welker, I was just mentioning in the last segment, talking about, and really just showing cannons firing and the soldiers, so showing kind of a seriousness of the situation right there, of what Gettysburg is. So I did kind of like that. It wasn't funny, but it looked cool. Kelly, you know, growing up and living in Georgia, you're much more like you see much more of the Civil War stuff, I think, than you have here in Arizona, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of historical markers that mark, you know, where battles actually took place, and we've got. I was actually at Oakland Cemetery a couple weeks ago, where they have this huge Civil War burial area, and because Oakland was about the only cemetery in Atlanta during that time period, and so tons and tons of you know, people, famous and otherwise, are buried there, including Margaret Mitchell, who wrote Gone with the Wind, and Bobby Jones, a really famous golfer, and a lot of political figures and everything. And so there's that, and it's kind of all over the place, really. I live in an area just a little south of Atlanta, and where, again, there's a lot of markers, and it's just a big part of history. It's probably one of the most significant moments in Georgian history, because we didn't do that much else. So, you know, it's the South, or at least Georgia. We don't have that kind of rich history like the New England area, where, you know, it's like the birth of the country and things like that, and
right,
everything got started. Yeah, I mean, I learned a lot about it growing up, and
right.
It's kind of interesting. It's, you know, fascinating to read up on.
Yeah, the Civil War actually did make its way all the way to Arizona. We're about an hour away from the farthest west battle of the Civil War, I believe, which is at Picacho Peak, which is that's the only Civil War battle that I remember hearing about. I think it was towards the end of the Civil War, I believe. But yeah,
I've never even heard of that one.
Yeah, and most people haven't. Most people
I haven't even heard of it. So
Nathan, come on. But yeah, most people. I've talked to people that go, the Civil War wasn't fought in Arizona. I'm like, yes, it was. No, bring up
a huge battle.
It wasn't that big.
It was a very important battle.
But yeah, that's one thing I noticed we're going into when we take like school trips to helping my mom's class with monitoring kids going to Washington D.C. and stuff, is whenever we're in the eastern area of the United States, there's a Civil War reenactments going on quite a bit. It seems like almost, depending on the time of year, you go to almost any kind of park, it seems like people are dressed up like Civil War people. But here in Arizona, not as much.
Yeah.
There's some LARPing going on, but that's about it. Well, what are some? I thought it was kind of funny when you did mention the Attila the Hun thing. I was like, well, the Animaniacs are going time traveling, apparently, is what's going on.
Well, of course they have. We've seen them in all sorts of time zones. So.
Oh, we just found out a secret. Time travel. You got all the time I want. I got a time machine.
All that wibbly wobbly, timey wimey stuff.
But and then of course the name of the book, I think, was like The People Who Have Beards autograph book.
Yeah,
which is kind of cool. Overall, a cute thing. I thought the voice of Lincoln, I couldn't quite place. The voice was like, I'm Abraham Lincoln, kind of like that.
Yeah.
I think that I heard that Abraham Lincoln's voice was not that deep. My biggest exposure to Abraham Lincoln is probably going to Disneyland and seeing the animatronic Abraham Lincoln talking. And I've yet to see Spielberg's Lincoln.
Oh, that was really good.
Yeah, I need to see it.
I am disappointed.
Disappointed.
It's really good.
Yeah, I need to see it. So there you go. There's a Spielberg connection in there.
It actually is amazingly good. It's slow. And slow in this situation doesn't equate to boring, but compared to a lot of his films, it's very slow, but it's beautifully the cinematography is amazing in it, and it's just well done. I enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's a movie that also Spielberg wanted to make, I know, for a long, long time, I believe as well. I think Liam Neeson at one point was even going to play Abraham Lincoln.
I think you're right. Yeah.
It was. I remember it was just a movie that Spielberg always wanted to make. He always wanted to make his Lincoln movie, and eventually was given that chance. So, for a while, maybe he thought Animaniacs was going to be the closest he was ever going to get.
As close as we get.
But it also ended. This particular cartoon ended on, just like The Flame, a very kind of. In fact, I would say this one even ended on a more serious note. Or, not silly at all, than The Flame. The Flame kind of ended with oh, yeah, fireworks and then this one ended just with
the Gettysburg.
Yeah. And it was nice. It was got the historic stuff right there. But I guess when it comes down to it is, I've seen things online saying that The Flame and 407 Migraines Ago were originally flipped. Right? Yeah. So
they've been moved around. They've been moved around on DVDs.
So my question is, does this work? Does 407 Migraines work where it is right now, or would it have worked better at the beginning of this episode?
I think they would need. I think they need a nose re-entering scene. Because they escape from Lincoln's nose from a plane.
That's right. We forgot about that.
And they need to re-enter the nose somehow. Ralph needs to chase him back up the nose.
That's true. There was a chase segment in there, wasn't there, with Mount Rushmore as well, of going out for Lincoln's nose. So maybe going back into it. But no, I'm talking about not this one. I'm talking about 407 Migraines Ago. Would it have worked better at the beginning, or is it fine where it is right now?
I like it at the end, but
yeah, Kelly, what do you think? Is the order good right now? Is what we got, or is would it have worked better somehow differently?
I think the Wackos song would have worked better at the end.
Oh, that'd be good. That's a nice closer.
I agree. It just seems like it just needed a little bit of a silliness. For it
if they did that'd be like a Wackarati basically, do Wacko's song at the end and kind
of wrap up the entire story about the United States.
Davy Crockett in between Flame and and then
I agree. I totally agree. Okay, there we go. Let's get another special edition.
Yeah, we need to
let's change the order one more time. Well, actually, before we go to our water tower reviews and everything like that, we have actually a review here from one of our listeners.
Hello, my name is Curtis.
Okay, Curtis, hang on just 1 second. Curtis, stop talking for a second. Jeez, Curtis.
It's kind of rude.
I know. I'm sorry, everybody.
We gotta stop letting Curtis do this if he's just going to interrupt us.
Well, this is Curtis Finley. And his sons come on one more time. And of course, we encourage Curtis to continue his journey through Animaniacs and share his children's opinion about the show. But they saw this episode and sent in their thoughts. So without any further ado, here's Curtis and his kids.
Hello, my name is Curtis.
My name's Peter. My name is Milo.
And we're going to talk about this episode of Animaniacs that is all about the beginning of the United States of America. And now, we're from Canada, right? We live in Vancouver, so we don't know a whole lot about American history like this. It's not something that you really learn in school. So did you learn anything in this episode?
Well, that is talking about all of the countries, right?
All of the states, you mean?
Yeah, all of the states.
Are you talking about the song that Wakko sings?
Yeah.
What do you think about that song?
It was really funny.
What were the funny parts on the song? Do you remember any?
That he got into the plane, and he was playing a violin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember the one where Yakko sings about all of the nations in the world?
Yeah.
Which song do you like better? The one that Yakko sings or the one that Wakko sings?
Both. Yakko's.
You like both of them?
I like both. Yakko. I like Yakko. Okay,
you like the one with
Yakko?
I think I like the one with Yakko better as well.
I like both.
The first cartoon is about a flame. Do you remember that one? Did you like it?
Uh-huh.
What did you like about that one?
Because this flame is really cute.
Milo, did you like the flame? What did you like about the flame?
That it glows in the dark.
And then the third one.
It's about a chicken.
What? That's not a chicken.
Yes?
No, he's not a chicken. You're crazy.
Yes, he really is. Yeah.
Oh, okay, I see. Giant chicken. Was this a funny episode?
He's actually a chicken guy.
Do you remember what the chicken's name is?
I forgot.
Davy
the Donald.
Davy the Donald? Davy Omelette. And the last cartoon is called 87 Migraines Ago, and they meet the President Abraham Lincoln. He's on a train. Do you remember this episode? What was so funny about this one?
That they're pretending to do the Tiny Toons.
Yeah, they were pretending to do the Tiny Toons song.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny, hey? Because we watch Tiny Toons as well, don't we?
Yeah.
So what was your favorite cartoon out of all 4 of the ones in this episode? Was it The Flame, Wackos America, Davy Omelette, or 87 Migraines Ago?
4-score-and-5 migraines ago.
No,
I agree with Peter.
And why was that one your favorite?
Or Tiny, or Tootie, or the little Flutie.
Yeah, I think it's their favorite because they actually understood one of the pop culture references. So that's good. Excellent. So thanks for your review, guys. Let's say, see you next time.
See you next time. Bye-bye.
Those kids are probably the cutest things in the world, I'm thinking.
Yeah, in 3 minutes again.
They're doing it great. They do it much better than we do.
Yeah.
Which
that was so cute.
I know. And I'm so glad Curtis is probably going to get, in my opinion, Dad of the Year award, because he's not only showing his kids Animaniacs, but also Tiny Toons. Mm-hmm. I mean, those kids when those kids were singing the Tiny Toons song, I'm like, OMG. Like, I haven't heard little kids sing that song in the longest time. So cute. So, Curtis, thank you once again, and your sons for that wonderful. What is his son's name here? It's Peter and Milo, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, yeah. Peter and Milo. Thank you, Peter, and thank you, Milo. You guys are awesome, and keep watching Animaniacs and let us know what you think. All right, well, I think we can get right over to our Water Tower rating, guys. Let's start with Kelly. Kelly, what do you think? On a scale of 1 to 5, what would you give this episode?
This one's tough. I think I'll go with 3.5.
3.5.
And that's mostly for the states and capital song because I really like that. And but I'll give it a 3.5.
All right. And Nathan, what do you think?
I think I'm going to go for a 5.
5.
Just because I found so much educational stuff, and I enjoyed Wakko's song so much, and yeah, I thought it had a good amount of education and peppered in with some humor. So
very cool. And I'll give it. I'm gonna go with 3.5 as well. It could have been a little funnier, but it was still a really good episode. I would definitely rewatch it. I would probably skip to the 87 Migraines Ago, perhaps, if I were to pick one segment out of this. Although I really did like the Chicken Boo one. Mm-hmm. I really did think that was cute. And just seeing him dance and stuff, I thought was really funny.
Yeah.
Just like, so Chicken Boo was especially funny in this one. Poor guy. But anyway, let's go ahead and go to our poll results, though. So take it away, announcer.
Hello there, this is your announcer, being chased by a very weird-looking man with horns on his head. Here with your Animanicast Twitter poll results from last week. Listeners were asked, which of these cold openings is your favorite? Hashtag Animaniacs, hashtag Animanicast poll. 11% said the Flipper parody. 15% said Gilligan's Island parody. 33% said it was the Alfred Hitchcock parody. But unfortunately for Nathan, 41% said it was Newsreel of the Stars. Oh, my favorite segment in the world. In fact, I just turn off Animaniacs after that because I love it so much. Well, with that, oh my goodness, there's Molaram right now. Okay, Molaram, prepare to meet Kali in the place down there. I'll just get my pair of scissors here and cut this rope. Cut. There we are, he's gone. And now back to the studio with the new question for this week.
Okay, well, let's go to our Twitter poll question for this week. So far, we've had many different endings for the Animaniacs right before they pop out of the tower one last time after the credits. So I picked 4 that I thought were kind of cool. Today's one was Ciao America, which I thought was kind of cool. And some previous ones were like Cowabunga, which I thought was kind of less cool. And then we've had some longer ones too. Like, you know, I can't think of a way to end. I can't think of anything else. So I couldn't really fit that in. No. So what I did was I picked 4 that I believe will fit into Twitter's
we'll find out
poll things. So the first one is clap on, clap off, clap on, clap off, show's over. And I'm a reference, of course, to the clapper, which you can still buy coming up for Christmas, everybody.
Oh boy.
So is it clap on, clap off, show's over? Is it lather, rinse, repeat? Is it flummeal? Or goodbye, nurse? So there you go.
Classic. All right.
Classic. So go ahead and just tell us, what do you think? Which one of those endings is the best in your opinion? Head on over to twitter.com/Animanicast or simply search on Twitter for hashtag Animanicast poll and you will be able to make your voice heard, which this is even more important than the upcoming election, right, folks?
That's right.
Not really. Okay. So
if you can only vote on one thing. No.
Okay, so let's go ahead and before we move on, I think we need to do one more thing, which is a plug for our contest. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, that we have a big collection of vinyl decals.
Oh, I thought you were like CDs or records or something.
No. Although I do have a lot of CDs. Like if you want to stop by my house and just.
I mean, we have a big collection. It's not coming to you, but we have a big collection.
We do have a big collection, but we're giving away vinyl decals. And in order to get, or at least have a possibility of getting those decals, simply go over to iTunes and leave us a positive 5-star review on iTunes for the Animanicast. And you will be in the running. We have decals of Yakko, Wakko, and Dot, Pinky in the Brain, and let's see, also a Put a Brain in the White House decal.
Ooh,
they
perfect.
all look pretty darn cool, and I'll post a picture of them on Facebook and Twitter just so you can get an idea of what those look like. Okay, well, let's go ahead and get over to our contact information. Let's start with Kelly this time. Kelly, where can people get in contact with you if they like to say hi?
They can contact me at Twitter, Yoda Princess, YODAPRNCSS, or Kelly at BigShinyRobot.com.
And Nathan, what about you?
Django FT, Django Fit. Django Fit. That's for Django Fett.
Okay.
I repainted, as you heard last week.
Good. It looks terrible, though.
No, yeah, I just dipped it in the paint, but
okay, yeah.
I'm not a painter.
I was gonna say, yeah, just painted one color blue.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good job, Nathan.
It's Jango Fett.
You're not a very good customizer, but I'll
hey,
give it to you. All right.
Now resale value is through the roof.
Okay, and of course you can get in contact with us at Animanicast@retrozap.com. And speaking of RetroZap, you can head on over to retrozap.com to see a full listings of articles and podcasts and awesome, amazing stuff over at retrozap.com. Check it out. Well, with that, I think we are done for this very patriotic episode. I think we've all been given a reason to go out there and vote in this upcoming presidential election, right?
Yes.
Right? We all feel like good Americans now.
We're going to stand outside the polls.
Good. To get in line right now.
Yeah.
And with that, for the Animanicast. Yes, that's how we're going to say it, for the Animanicast. This is Joey, and for Nathan and Kelly, good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
This podcast is not endorsed by Warner Brothers or Amblin Entertainment and is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Animaniacs, the Warner Brothers logo, all names, pictures, and sounds of the Animaniacs characters or any other Animaniacs-related items are registered trademarks and or copyrights of Warner Brothers, Amblin Entertainment, or their respective trademark and copyright holders. All original content of this podcast is the intellectual property of the Animanicast unless otherwise indicated.
Do you mind if I call you Abe?
No.
Do you mind if I call you Timmy?
Yes.
How about Diane?
Abe.